Hi again, everybody. Barry Hyatt here in Scottsville at the University of Kentucky Extension Office with my buddy Janet Johnson. Janet, Christmas is almost upon us, isn't it?
Christmas time's a-coming, Barry, and we have so many people that are using our building for holiday dinners, so many people thinking of last-minute gift ideas, and sometimes at the very last minute you're looking for that perfect thing to do, maybe on Christmas morning, Christmas Eve, some kind of little light treat, or maybe a breakfast food, and I've got two of my family favorites to share.
Fantastic. Now, where did you get this idea?
Well, you know, you hear about things here and there. You know how we home economics / family consumer science people are. We're always looking for convenience items using this, and I think maybe another agent shared the idea, and then I found other recipes, and you know what? I've used these so many times that I preserve those recipes in Allen County Scottsville Patriot Band cookbook.
Of all places.
Of all places, but that's where I have housed my mini Cinnies, as my kids call them, and then the mini Cinny pecan roll that we'll show you. But hey, they're so easy because, Barry, they both start with a simple can of crescent roll dough.
Okay.
Okay? Now, I'll let you choose the brand that you want to buy, but crescent roll dough. And with crescent roll dough, basically what you have inside, you know, you can roll it all out as one big thing, but you can separate into 4 rectangles.
Okay.
Now, what you need to do with the dough after that for both recipes is decide, well, okay, now what am I really doing? But for the Cinny Minis, let's start with those. You simply then press together, and if you want to dampen your fingers and if you want to kind of pat, you know, and kind of push dough and do that, and you know, Barry, this little roller is wonderful because it actually helps you flatten the dough and kind of do that. Just hit a quick lick and you can kind of press those seams together. And I love using this little gadget. I love gadgets.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually.
It really is.
Flattening it out, is what you're doing.
I'm just flattening those rectangles out so that we're like this. Now, this is what I call the low-cal Cinny Mini, okay? The other one in a moment, we're going to add a little butter to that. With this one, though, all you need to do is mix up some cinnamon sugar. So what is that? Well, I'm astounded that people pay $2.50 for cinnamon sugar, you know, already mixed, when all you need to do is think 3 to 1. If I want 3 tablespoons of sugar, then a tablespoon of cinnamon maybe, or 3 teaspoons of sugar, a teaspoon of, again, it's that kind of thing. So think about that proportion, kind of a 3 to 1. And if you want to back it off a little bit with the cinnamon, just add a little more sugar. So it's really proportion. Now, years ago, I found this little salt pepper shaker set, and it works perfect for my cinnamon sugar because I mix it up in here just like a salt shaker, and then I can use it, and all I have to do is just sprinkle this on top of the cinnamon roll dough that we're calling the crescent rolls today. And you know, just kind of shake it out there. You don't have to put any butter or anything else on here. Now, if you wanted to vary the spices a little bit, you could mix in a little nutmeg if you like that. I think cloves are pretty strong, so I'd probably back off of the cloves, but that's up to you to do that. But I think nutmeg and cinnamon's nice, but most of the time I just put the cinnamon sugar.
I want to show this just real quickly.
Yeah, and we're just covering the dough, and you make it as liberal as you want. The more that you get, you don't need to have it, you know, thickened up. You don't want that. But then what we're going to do is we start at the short end of your rectangle, and we're going to roll up, kind of working the ends in as we go. We're going to roll up and literally create a pinwheel. Okay? So we have these little logs.
There you go.
As a sense. Now, if you want to put these in the refrigerator, that's fine. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to pinch together the ends and kind of push the ends in, okay? What you want to do is make sure all of your seams are sealed so that you have no broken pieces. And we will actually do that to all 4 of these little rectangles. Now, you can see sometimes they want to come undone. You might take a little bit of water and just kind of dampen that, or just keep pressing.
Just press a little bit.
And it will go back together. Then you want to take a serrated edged knife, and you want to cut the little log into 5 pieces. And I kind of go about 1 inch from the end, 1 inch from the end, come in and kind of make 4 cuts.
Very good.
So that's what we're doing. So again, we want to do that. Then you take, again, a pie pan. Now, if you'd like to, or a cake pan, I use these round cake pans, and I kind of put just a little butter, or you could spray a butter flavor spray if you'd like to do that. And then you set these little mini pinwheels inside the cake pan, and I'll show you, because this is the secret to arranging this. We're going to start in the center, and we're going to take the little pinwheels, and we're going to start putting them in a circle,
Okay.
okay? Kind of like this. And we're going to do this for all of these little crescent roll logs.
Right.
So that we're making these little mini cinnamon rolls.
Okay, very good.
Very easy, right?
Sure.
Okay, so we just keep putting those and keep cutting those around and around and around, put all that in there, and then we put them in a 350-degree oven for about 12 minutes.
Okay.
That's all it takes. And when they come out, wow.
I was going to say, I mean, that looks outstanding.
Well, they're just cute as a button, and they're
And they
really
taste good too, I bet.
They're going to be great. They're wonderful warm. Today we've made some ahead of time so you can see them in stages, but they're great cold too. I mean, they're a wonderful snack anytime.
Sure.
And so you have a mini cinnamon roll, and you can simply tear those apart and serve those individually, or you can cut them around, but they're really, really cute.
Did you say how long you baked them?
12 minutes.
12 minutes.
12 minutes, really quick until they're brown and set, something like this. But about 12 minutes, that's all it takes.
All right.
Now, we'll get to the topping in just a minute, but I want to show people a variation right here on how to do this. It looks completely different,
Okay.
but it's pretty much the same concept. The only thing that we're doing is we're adding a little butter and a few pecans.
Okay.
How southern can we get, right? Butter and pecans.
Well,
So,
we're from the South. We ought to be Southern, right?
oh, absolutely. But now you can see here, once again, we have started with the same crescent roll dough, and you take it out and you create these little rectangles right here, or this time you can almost put two of the rectangles together, as you see,
Right.
and you can make a much longer rectangle. So I'll give you the variation. I'll show you in a moment what happens.
And
because
you sprinkled it also with the cinnamon and also.
yeah, we're going to add some things to that. We're going to put some little extra sugar to
Okay.
it, a little extra,
Okay.
and pecans, chopped pecans, finely chopped pecans. Okay.
Okay.
But I want to show you, with this recipe, you will melt some butter. Okay. And I know that you'll have the recipe up with proportions, but honestly, it's not a lot of rocket science here, right?
Well, if I'm involved, it can't be too much. that's for
No, I mean, it's not difficult. So with this, we're actually spreading the little rectangle with some melted butter.
sure. Okay.
Okay? Then we mix up a mixture of sugar and cinnamon, maybe nutmeg if you like that,
Okay.
and chopped pecans. Now finely chopped pecans. Now the homemakers here in Allen County sell pecans for a fundraiser, and they're Shermers from Georgia, and they are wonderful, but some of the pieces are larger, so I have to hit another little chop with these.
Crush them a little bit.
Yeah, okay, on that. Or get the finely chopped, which are cheaper usually at the store.
Okay.
Okay, so what you have is kind of a loose cinnamon sugar pecan mixture. And what we're going to do is just take a little of that, and we're going to sprinkle that over the rectangle. I'm going to show people because there is just a little difference with this. Now, before we were actually rolling this up, and that's what we're going to do here as well. But with the pecans, it's better if you will press the cinnamon sugar pecan mixture in the dough. That helps you with rolling much better. Otherwise, your pecans are kind of flying out in places, and trying to do that. And you can see what we've got here. So as before, we can now roll this up from the short end, very much like that we did the others. And you're just simply rolling, 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 and kind of working the dough that way. Or we can create a little ring. And we will roll from the long side. Either the short one, okay, or we can actually start rolling and we can make a very long rope or pinwheel. And we're going to twist that then and create a whole different look. And I'm showing people like that. You just keep working it in. It's a little harder to work from the really long side. But even if we took the long side with the shorter one, what we're doing, Barry, like this, see how we've started here instead of here? Okay, now we simply give that a twist like this.
Almost like a pretzel.
Like a pretzel, and bring the ends around, and we are ready to bake a little mini pecan roll. Like that. This creates the scenario of using the long end, a really nice, larger pecan roll.
Yes.
Which I think that's a nice look.
Sure.
But you're doing it just like we showed you. You're doing a very long rectangle, rolling that in, and then twisting it just like we did the little one, and making that. And this is wonderful then, a whole different look, a whole different taste. Now let's glaze both of them very quickly. Most people are very familiar with how to do, again, a powdered sugar glaze And as we always say, less is more getting started. It's a matter of just mixing that together. You can use milk or half and half. I would urge you not to use skim milk.
Okay.
It's very thin, okay? And you want it to be a little bit thicker. So gradually add that in and then add a little vanilla flavoring. And with one of the recipes, a variation I'll show you in just a moment makes a delicious glaze, especially for the pecan roll. And you use simple pancake syrup.
Is that right?
Yeah, instead of using the milk, and you can see how we're creating a nice glaze, and that's why you want to do this slowly, because the more you begin to work the powdered sugar, the more it begins to melt. Now it is kind of fluffy at some point. Well, we'll not do that. We'll do a little more half and half here. And I'm using half and half instead of milk. You can use milk if you like. This makes it just a little more rich if you use the half and half. But you can see that we have a nice glaze. Now, if you are glazing the cinnamon rolls as they come right out of the oven, this is very important to have a thicker glaze. So that's why I'm urging you to go slow. Otherwise, I mean, it looks almost like an icing. Now, if you want it thinner, if you've let your cinnamon rolls kind of sit down, and we'll put these back over here, and we'll just kind of spoon these over this. That makes a nice little glaze, as you can see, very much like we would expect to see with a cinnamon roll. And again, the warmer the cinnamon roll, the thicker the glaze, or it will thin with the heat, of course. So that's why making it thick is very important. But we would put those on there, and it creates some little mini cinnies. As we said before, vary it and actually use a pancake syrup. Now this is a log cabin, of course, or you can get anything that you like, but again, go slow. And I
take
want
your time. Patience is key, right?
Patience is key when working with these little powdered sugar glazes, because it takes time for the sugar to kind of melt down into the liquid. So go very slow and just add a little more as you go, because I have gotten too impatient and used too much liquid too many times, Barry, and it really is disastrous. You just have to keep adding more powdered sugar to it. But this creates a caramel-like glaze, and it's really very pretty. We have it over here on one of the rolls that I did last night, and I think people will really enjoy this taste. It's very simple to use.
Well, I tell you, it looks really, really good. And of course, you have to make a little bit of a mess, though, right? I mean,
You do with powdered sugar. Hence, I have some of the little plastic things down, use some wax paper, you know, use some things to catch that up, and it makes cleanup easy. But you can see that we're getting there with the caramel glaze, and it's very, very nice. Oh, it's delicious. You're really going to love this. And so the two glazes offer the variation that people can use. They can actually use either one on either roll, but you can have a completely different recipe by just varying this glaze.
Now, which is your favorite if you had to pick between the two?
Well, we always go back to the plain Cinny Minis. One, on Christmas morning, they take so much less time.
Right.
Not that, you know, you don't have to chop any pecans, you have to have less ingredients. And so that is my traditional favorite. But I tell you, I do like this maple syrup glaze. It's very, very good. Very good. There's even a variation that I've done with an apple salad, Barry, using some similar type ingredients to create a maple dressing. Where you use maple syrup in that, and it's very good. But you can see now that
we've got it ready just about.
We have it ready, and we are ready to bring it over. And again, if your concoction has any type, and you could even take a knife and do this, but if your concoction has any type of heat to it, this is going to melt right in and add even more flavor inside your dish.
Could you probably wouldn't recommend this, but if could you go ahead and put that in the microwave just for a couple seconds? If
Absolutely.
It a little bit cold?
Absolutely. Now, I'll tell you what I would do if you're going to put it in the microwave, and I'm just going to drag this on here like this to see it. And in fact, we'll probably do that for your shot here in a moment.
Sure.
You need to cover it with a paper towel.
Okay.
To retain some moisture so it doesn't dry out and do those kind of things. So we have two different delicious Christmas morning treats.
Yes, they look outstanding.
Yes, they
do.
do.
So you can't pick a favorite then, huh?
Well, I go back, and I love the Cinny Minis, but I'm going to tell you, this little pecan roll is wonderful, and especially if you were doing the little mini pecan rolls like we
Right.
showed before,
Right.
and then glazing those, and you had the little individuals in there. So they're both equally delicious.
And as you said, not much prep time, really not
No.
much prep
Oh,
time. And
no.
it takes like 12 minutes.
12 minutes to bake, about
Right.
the same time. I think the pecan cinnamon roll, you preheat to 375 to
Okay.
allow a little bit of extra heat,
Okay.
but same time, about 12
Good deal.
minutes. That's
Good deal.
fast.
That's outstanding. Well,
Yes.
we're wrapping up December now,
We
and
are.
we're looking forward to next month too. Do you have any ideas yet for January?
Well, we're going to have to think. I think we started last year with some Super Bowl ideas.
We did.
I bet we need to think about that too. Some snack ideas for that football season that'll be coming.
Big game
Those
coming
bowl
up.
games, yes.
That's exactly right. Well, Jenna, I hope you and your family have a very nice Merry Christmas.
Yes, and you too,
um,
Barry, very much so. And to all of those who watch us
Exactly.
here on NCTC TV.
That's exactly right. We appreciate you guys watching so much, and we, of course, want to remind you also that if you'd like the recipes for any of these items that we've shown you today, you can call me at the North Central at 615-666-2151. Let me say that one more time.
Yeah.
615-666-2151. Or you can also email me at barry.hyatt@nctc.com, and we'd be happy to share these recipes with you. Again, Janet, thanks so much, and
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Barry.
Thank you, Janet. You guys take care, have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you again next month.